Today's event, Investing in Europe's Future, Digital Opportunities for Ireland. I'm delighted to see so many of you here today from diverse areas of Irish life. I know many of you, and I think it's wonderful that so many areas of Irish life are here represented today.
Well, what we really wanted to do was to explain to the biggest possible audience what the investment package for Europe is all about, and also explain the new digital agenda. And we've decided to combine these two big initiatives by the EU, have them here, have a big citizens' dialogue here in Dublin. And we've invited an audience that is interested in both of these particular initiatives, a very wide audience, and we're hoping for some great interaction and good dialogue and good discussion today. So we're delighted to have the Vice President Katainen here today. We're delighted to have a panel of great speakers, including Lord David Puttnam, you know, famous director of Chariots of Fire and many other things. And we have, of course, Paddy Cosgrave from the Web Summit, and we have an entrepreneur, somebody in an SME who's going to tell her story about the problem she's encountering vis-a-vis investment in her company, which is in the digital field. So we have, I think, something for everybody in the audience today.
So our aim is to provide public guarantees or use public money as an instrument to share the private sector's risk in higher risk projects. And by doing so, we believe we could mobilize 315 billion investment in 3 years' time.
If you look at the number of small and medium-sized enterprises who are already now operating in this field, it's a big. And also, if you look at the innovations, what has been created here, it's very encouraging. I just visited, for instance, in the Trinity College, in Trinity University, which is very closely cooperating with the private sector, and I got very good feeling that this is really a home base for innovations. So our role is to help SMEs to get into the market in the other countries in Europe. If you compare Europe to the United States, we are lacking of harmonized digital single market, and this holds back investment to digital infrastructure, for instance. So Ireland is very well positioned in digital world. Of course, there are lots of things to be done, broadband connections, digital skills, etc. But this is just a normal process, so I wish all the best for Ireland.
A rule of thumb for going into business, and this is where it gets interesting, is to take an existing business idea and do it better. I think we need the expertise and the guidance and the experience of Europe in general, but I think they'd actually learn a little bit to how Irish startups have got where they are, the success of being an innovator and a job creator, and that should be the motto. It's innovation plus job creation, and it's not linked traditionally in a startup because you're so busy trying to get to the heart of the issue, like a patent or a technological innovation, and sometimes that innovation doesn't always lead to the job we're trying to get to at the end of the day.
Another two parts, a part of internal market in the investment plan, are project pipeline, which basically means that we will create transparent project pipeline for public and private projects, investment projects, in order to give better visibility of those projects and match better than today supply and demand. This initiative came from investment banks and from insurance companies and pension funds who said they are willing and capable to invest in European infrastructure, but it's very difficult to find viable and well-structured projects from different countries. The third part in the plan is the new fund called EFSI. It's an acronym of European Fund for Strategic Investment. It will be part of European Investment Bank, and it will provide risk-sharing loans, equity financing, quasi-equity and guarantees for private investment or public-private joint ventures.
It's a large marketplace of 500 million people. We're just 4 million people, and for any entrepreneur that's building a technology-driven company, they've immediately got to look to a larger market than Ireland. And anything that the European Union can do to open up the European market as one single digital marketplace, all the better. in terms of my views on what the European Commission is doing, I think when it comes to a fiscal stimulus of this nature, it really doesn't matter what the actual arguments or justifications for it ultimately are, in my mind, and whether I agree with them or not is largely irrelevant. What's actually relevant is just that an enormous amount of money has been pumped into a particular sector of the economy. And I think that's probably, on balance, a very good thing, especially in a time of basic zero interest rates. And for those that like reading a little bit of economics, there should be at least some vague multiplier effect that happens as a consequence of pumping all that money into the European economy, which should make it quite easy.
I thought, number one, it's very good when you have the Vice President of Jobs coming over from the European Commission. Always great to get the chance to directly access that sort of brain power. I thought it was interesting what he said about the European Investment Bank and the availability of funds directly from Europe, and encouraging people to go directly to the European Investment Bank. We'll be taking him up on that, because we're trying to put together a seed fund with some private companies, obviously, and some of the banks for Ireland, because we still find that there's a lack of risk seed capital at the very early stage. The money that was available greatly from the European Union and indeed from the Irish Government and Enterprise Ireland has now been expended fully, so there's a need for that to be again funded. So I'll be following that up, so it was good to be here today.
One of the things that disappoints me, I sit here in West Cork, I teach in 6 universities around the world, and I still have people saying, God, gee, that's fantastic. There's nothing fantastic about it. This is digital technology. It's been around a decade. It just isn't utilised, and it is beyond belief that we're not doing more with it. So in a sense, my being here and using this technology is a way of proving one of, I think, the Commissioner's points, which is there's more we can do and there's more investment we need.
As somebody who runs a business here in Dublin, I find it very supportive that we had an event like this, that the Commissioner took time to come over and talk to us, and that it's reassuring that this is put together and that there is a view and a strategy in place to support our business. So I suppose I learned that it's not just like we're not here on our own, that there's a whole infrastructure working to support us.
I want to stop by saying that we have very ambitious internal market agenda in Commission. We will regulate digital single market anyway. My colleague Andrus Ansip and Günther Oettinger will bring concrete legislative proposals in this field already during this year, but more next year. And your duty is to tell us how to regulate. Even though we have very talented persons working for DGs in this field, but we are humble and we know that all the knowledge, all the expertise doesn't live in the European Commission. So please tell us how to regulate digital world so that Europe could gain competitive advantage, and we could create better environment for SMEs and those who are working in this field. Thank you very much.